Guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Sean. I'm back for another video. And welcome back to another review for HBO's show Insecure. This is season 5, episode 8, Choices, okay? Now, it's a really good episode, so I can't wait to dive in. But if you missed my previous review for episode 7, I'll have it flashing on the screen for you right now. And also be sure to subscribe so that you'll never miss an upload from your girl. If you like commentary, fashion, dating advice, a little bit of everything, you will love my channel. So go ahead and subscribe. And while you're at it, tap that little bell. That way be notified every single time I upload a video. Without any further ado, let's start with the review. So this week's episode starts with Issa and Nathan. They're laying in bed together. They're just having a little bit of pillow talk. And Issa just basically tells him how she really can't believe that Tiffany's moving away and how things are really changing. And Nathan tries to reassure her that, just because her friend is moving away doesn't mean that they can't still be close. He's like, now we have somebody to visit when we're in Denver. So, you can tell it's really weighing heavy on Issa that her little friend circle that she's gotten so accustomed to is beginning to change. This is what happens when you have a friend group and each of the friends slowly but surely start experiencing major life changes, whether they're moving away for a job opportunity, whether they are getting married or having a baby. You're going to have to work a little harder to maintain that friendship when people's priorities begin to change. So Issa follows Nathan into the bathroom. He's taken his medication. They have been showing us that he has taken his medication regularly. And he notices that Issa has on his shirt. And Issa's like, you know what, you've been leaving everything here. And he's like, you know what, you're right. I have been leaving, my clothes here and this and that. And he's like, you know what, maybe we should just move in together. And Issa, you can tell she's a little bit taken aback by that. And she's like, really? And he's like, yeah, I love waking up to you. I love being around you. I love, coming home to you. And I also feel like you save some money and all that. And so Issa's like, you know what, let me think about it. And so this is a huge step. The thing about Issa and Nathan, we're not exactly sure of the exact timetable, but they really are moving quickly. One minute she's telling him that she loves him, and now they're getting ready to move in together. It's all moving really, really fast. I'm not exactly sure of Issa's motives here. I don't know if she's moving fast because she feels that she sees Lawrence is moving on, so she wants to move on too, or because she actually genuinely cares for Nathan. I'll talk about it a little bit later as the episode progresses, but I definitely feel that they are doing his character a huge injustice, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. So next up we have Issa and Koya. They're at their art walk and everything looks beautiful. Issa does pull off another event seamlessly, and so the guy from Nothing But Water is telling Issa, everything came off beautiful, from the decor to, us doing really well in this market thanks to the events and how seamless everything has been. He's like, we'll definitely be giving you and Koya an offer coming up really soon. So Issa's career is beginning to really boom. She's doing really well with this huge partnership with Nothing But Water, and everything's going really well with her career and her love life because Nathan is there with his cousin. They're all booed up, kissing, hugging, saying I love you in front of people. Issa saying they're a power couple. Issa looks like she finally has everything going right for herself, and this is rare for Issa. So I'm happy to see Issa's brother Amal there. So he's there being funny like usual. He's going back and forth with Kelly. They have this kind of brother-sister type banter, but it's good to see his character. I'm glad that they're trying to give everybody who at least played a part in this series a chance to come back in the final season to, be on screen one last time. So of course Molly and Kelly are there, and they're talking to Issa, telling her how good of a job that she's doing, telling her how cute she looks with Nathan and how happy they are to see Issa happy. And she's blushing and it looks like everything is going well. But as they're walking off, Molly is blushing at her phone. And so everybody notices and they're like, what's going on with you? And is that Torian? Is he asking you out for a second date? And she's like, yes, we're trying to set everything up now. At this moment, it really dawns on me. A lot of the criticism of this season has been people saying, how are they going to get it all done in time? How are they going to give us a happy ending that they promise? How are we going to have closure? And I do agree to a certain extent with Issa's storyline, but I will say Tiffany's storyline, they finished that up with a bow. She's getting ready to move to Denver. She's married. She has a baby. Everything going good with her and Derek. It looks like Kelly is, really finding her voice. She's getting into a more spiritual side. She's trying to change her career. She's getting into that. Molly's doing good in her career. She has a new relationship that has great potential. Issa's doing good in her career. She also has a relationship, at least currently, that's doing really well. And it's just that Issa's storyline still has so much messiness so late in the game. That's what's irritating me and just about everybody else. So Molly lets the group know that she is going to go out on a second date with Torian, and Molly already is talking about sleeping with him so that she needs a stress relief after everything going on with her parents. And it's like, Molly, we were just giving you praise for not leading with sex, and that's your go-to. If you keep doing the same thing, you can't expect a different result. But anyway, so Kelly hears her talking about the stress with her parents, and she volunteers to help because that is what Kelly does. Kelly is in financial planning, so she's like, I'll help you. So she volunteers to help. So as Koya and Issa are leaving the event, who pulls up other than Crenshaw? I just kept telling my husband, like, he got a lot of nerve. I can't believe he was there. Child, I was irritated. It's like, what are you doing here? So he come in there, wrenching his hat, you could tell he getting ready to ask for something. And he's like, looks like the art walk went really well. I could tell that you really are about your people. My bad for how I popped off online and everything. And, but I didn't realize how much effort goes into these events. I'm actually trying to plan something myself, and you need permits and this and licenses. And I basically don't know how to do any of these things. And I was thinking, you did say that you was for the people, and you did say that you wanted to help, and you did say that you wanted to win with me. So he coming back asking for some help. And I was like, boy, oh no. See, what irritates me about Crenshaw is he was public with the disrespect, but want to be private with the apology. No, say the apology with your chest publicly, just like how you were bashing her. I'm glad that Issa didn't immediately accept the offer to help him, because no, he needs to know that that's not cool. He was willing to take her business down without even giving her the benefit of the doubt, or without giving her another chance, without talking to her about it. He was willing to take her entire business down, and now he want to come back acting like she owes him something. When he thought he had the upper hand, when he thought that he had the power to make or break her business, he was acting real stank when she came with those peace brownies. You said you were going to do this. I thought you were for the people. You inspired my sweatshirt line, integrity, and all that. Oh, he had a whole lot to say when he thought that she was the one that needed him. But now he want to come humbly. And now he finally want to hear her out when he needs some help. Boy, if you don't get out of my face. Crenshaw was looking handsome, though. I will say that. When he was begging for an apology, and Koya was like, "Here he come with that sexy apology." I cracked up. So Issa is finally getting her offer from the Nothing But Water people, and it is extremely impressive. Issa finally is profitable with her passion project, which is her business, The Block. So she's really excited. So the next scene is her getting ready to show Nadia and the other guy from Nothing But Water this event space for this upcoming event with the Anthology Collective. Now, Issa's just dressed regularly, but as she opens the door, there is a huge shift in like how she's dressed, her demeanor. It's kind of like a dream sequence where Issa is envisioning how she'll be presenting events to them in the future. She's in a power suit. She has Koya and 2 other assistants. So she has 3 assistants, and she's definitely making boss moves, carrying herself like a boss. It's really empowering to see. She's come a long way from We Got Y'all. There's even a scene with Issa being interviewed, much like how she was interviewed during the alumni presentation when she went back for her reunion. And how Issa was like a fish out of water during that presentation. She didn't know what to say or how to say it. She felt very unsure and awkward about, her business. This time, this was a confident Issa, speaking with authority, very sure of herself. The show is called Insecure, but you're seeing Issa becoming a lot more secure in her business, in her relationship. So in this dream sequence version of Issa, it sounds like she left LA. She's like, saying that she has to go back to LA for the weekend. So I don't know if that's a plan for Issa. I know that there have been a lot of people speculating that Issa will leave LA in the season finale. Maybe she can move away with Nathan. He also expressed an interest in wanting to move. So they're like, maybe that'll be a part of the season finale, Issa and Nathan moving to a different city or state to really help her business. But anyway, so she's on the airplane looking bad and bougie. Issa had on Dior, hair all curled, pressed, slicked and laid to the side and all that. But while she's on there, she runs into Ty Dolla $ign. I remember him making a cameo in season 1 as well. So it's also a callback to Ty Dolla $ign being in Insecure. But anyway, so, he's letting Issa know that he's also going back to LA for the weekend because he's going to be working with the artist Crenshaw. And that's when Issa's future self or dream self is kind of, feeling some kind of way because, she did promise to help Crenshaw and she kind of left and went with Nothing But Water, went with the money. and basically abandoned him again. So there's kind of an inner turmoil with Issa. Should she go with the money or should she go with Crenshaw in kind of the community? So Issa is still in this dream sequence, and she arrives at a beautiful, fabulous, incredibly well decorated place. That's Issa's place. And Nathan is in a cream colored sweater. Like, he's matching her vibe, matching the whole aesthetic. And she's like, well, how have you been? And he's like, I just opened my second shop. So it also looks like Nathan is thriving in his career. They have a beautiful home together. The whole thing looks beautiful and picturesque and ideal. And Issa's like, so when did we move here? And then he reminds her that, we moved here when you wanted to be closer to the Nothing But Water headquarters. And she's like, oh. He tells her he's about to go chill some champagne and get out of them clothes. And she is happy. She's smiling, dancing. This is the first time that we have seen Issa's character visualize her future with anybody other than Lawrence. I don't even think she did this with Daniel. Matter of fact, she didn't do it with Daniel. The only person whose future Issa saw herself with was Lawrence. So in this dream sequence, all she saw was Nathan and their life together, and she was very happy about it. So Issa is snapped out of her daydream when she receives a text message from Crenshaw that basically has a location that he would like to meet her at. So we instantly jump from this scene to Molly and Kelly over at her parents' house talking about estate planning. And, the dad is really disappointed because he had to take out some loans and had to borrow against this and borrow against that to help with the mom's medical bills. And he really doesn't have as much to leave to the kids as he had hoped. And he's kind of embarrassed by that because he doesn't feel that after all the years that he's worked, that he really has anything to show for it. And this is very, very realistic. I know a lot of times parents don't have anything to leave to their kids because they really haven't planned for it. So I'm actually going to be doing financial videos on my channel starting 2022, talking about investments and portfolios and cryptocurrency and all the different things you can do in order to, help your financial situation. So if you're into that kind of stuff, you definitely want to subscribe. But nobody wants to talk about death and wills and estate planning and all that kind of stuff. But death is a part of life. And so it's really important that you're planning for it properly so that you don't leave your children with a burden. Meanwhile, Issa is finally meeting up with Crenshaw, and he's got a whole pitch planned for her. He's telling her how grateful he is that she actually took the opportunity to meet with him. And she's like, well, I'm basically just here to tell you to your face in person that I don't think it's a good idea for us to continue to work together. And he's like, well, I respectfully disagree. He's like, basically, he feels that their missions align. He's like, I have this great space that I really want you to see. It'd be great for doing after school programs. You can also have, events. You can host events at this space. And, once he said after school program, Issa's eyes lit up because, she used to be with We Got Y'all, and she does have a soft spot in her heart for helping the youth in her community. So it is something that she's kind of interested in doing, but not necessarily in doing with Crenshaw, because she's being smart and being wise and cautious with working with him because she's already been burned by him before. But he's like, and I just want you to take a look at this space. I want you to think about it, at least consider it. And Issa promises to at least think about it. But Issa didn't think long because she was already there. And so Crenshaw is meeting them out back of the event space that he wants to show them. And again, Issa is in regular street clothes, dressed somewhat casually. But once she opens the door, a new, more polished Issa emerges. It's another sort of daydream type sequence with Issa being appreciated by the staff. Last time they were giving her the cold shoulder when she came with those peace brownies, but this time everybody is warm, receptive. They're even giving Issa brownies. So the dream sequence continues with Issa, Koya, and Crenshaw outside of a space that they're considering for a second shop. So Issa and Crenshaw are in business together, and they're about to open a second location. And he's like, can we afford it? And they're like, we ran the numbers and it looks like we can. So the next thing you know, Crenshaw's shop is open. But anyway, so as she's like, soaking up all the love from the community that she always wanted, she sees a bus drive by that has nothing but water plastered on the side of it and Ty Dolla Sign. And she's kind of like thinking about the idea that she passed up on the money and the opportunity to be in her community and to do this work. And so she kind of has a look on her face like she's not really sure how to feel about that. She likes what she's doing for the community, but I think she misses the money. So also in this dream sequence, Issa is given the key to the city and also awarded a special day. There's a certain day that's going to be Issa Day, and Issa's very proud of herself. The community loves her, and she's, you know, she's definitely accomplished everything that she wanted to do in the community that she loves. So she's really proud of that. So she walks into her same apartment that she lives in now, key to the city plastered on the wall. Of course, Nathan is there. He's making her a drink, and Issa's like, "Why didn't we move?" And he's like, "You know, we had to make some sacrifices for entrepreneurship, so this is our place." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And so he gives her a drink and lets her know that Trina was complaining about, you know, her toilet being backed up. So in Issa's cute little outfit, she has to go grab a plunger, and she's getting ready to leave. She's talking to Nathan, and for some reason she can't really hear him. So she's like, "What?" And while she says that, all of a sudden Lawrence pops up, and he was like, you know, she's shocked to see him. So she's like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "I just want to congratulate you because you had a whole lot of options and you made the choice that was best for you. And basically these are the result of your choices, and I'm proud of you." And so he even leans in and tries to kiss Issa, and she's like freaked out by this, and she screams. And this is the part that really gets me, because I talked about it earlier when she had that dream sequence with her and Nathan, and it was the whole nothing but water scenario. And it was the first time that she had a thought of herself for the future that didn't include Lawrence. And for him to now still be permeating her thoughts and in her future thoughts, it's really problematic. Like, Issa definitely needs to confront this, because I don't know how much closure a person needs, though. Like, how many times can they break up and have these conversations where it's like, I just feel like it's exhausting at this point. But it looks like Issa still needs closure because she can't fully move on with Nathan, with thoughts of Lawrence still running through her head. So this snaps Issa out of this daydream, and she's sitting in her car and she's just looking perplexed, because she's like, "Why am I having these fantasies of my future and Lawrence is still in them?" So then we move on to Molly. She's saying goodbye to Kelly, thanking Kelly for being there for her parents and helping them with their estate planning. And Kelly's like, "I really like doing this. Like, I got to do more of this. This is really, I truly enjoyed it." So like I said, this is the beginning of Kelly starting to, you know, possibly get into entrepreneurship or helping more people. And she's definitely feeling more fulfilled in her little purpose and all that. So I'm proud of Kelly. But anyway, you know, Molly's dad thanks her for forcing him to do it because he knows that it needed to be done. And he's happy that it's done. Molly leaves, she gets in her car, and she starts bawling. You know, when you realize that your parents are not going to be here forever, that's a heavy feeling no matter how old you are. So Molly is in tears when she gets a call, and it's actually Torian. They were supposed to be going out on their date, and he's like, "Carter, you're not trying to flake on me." I thought that was cute that he called her by her last name. But she was like, "You know what? I don't think I'll be a whole lot of fun. It's been a really rough day with my parents." And he's like, "Well, do you want to talk about it?" And she's like, "I just kind of want to chill." And he's like, "Well, that's fine. You know, we can always have a rain check for another day." And he was like, "Let me know if you need anything or if you want to talk." I thought that was really sweet. And this is the thing, Molly, because she always leads with sex, that's all any man in her life ever really expects from her or ever wants to communicate with her about. But because they haven't been intimate, I feel like their connection is building. That's the thing. The longer you delay it, the more you can build a connection that isn't dependent solely on intimacy, on that physical type of intimacy. There's more than one way to be intimate, and it doesn't always involve you having sex with somebody. Sometimes it's just about the connection, the being vulnerable, the having somebody to talk to who listens. I definitely like the fact that they're building up that part of their relationship before they just jump into bed together like Molly always does with every man that she seems to meet. This is going to make the relationship stronger because it's not based solely on sex. So meanwhile, Issa is having a conversation with her mirror self after having that daydream that Lawrence popped up in. And, you know, the mirror self is like, "Well, girl, don't you see how life is going to be? Life's going to be great with Crenshaw." And Issa's like, "I can't get past the fact that Lawrence was in this daydream. Like, why was Lawrence there?" And so her mirror self is like, "That just is showing you that there's some unfinished business, some unresolved issues with you and Lawrence that still need to be addressed." And Issa is frustrated by the fact that she's trying so hard to move on, but she cannot seem to get Lawrence out of her mind. So Issa gives Molly a call to talk about how everything went with the estate planning and Kelly, and Molly lets her know that she was able to get a will for her parents and she feels relieved about it, but it was a really heavy day talking about death and her parents. It was just emotionally draining. And so, you know, they talk about trying to do Issa's mom's will next. And then she also asks Issa, like, you know, "What's going on with you?" And Issa lets her know that she feels torn between the decision that she has to make. Should she go with nothing but water? And if she does that make her a sellout? Or should she go with working with Crenshaw. And Molly basically lets her know that there is no wrong decision, that just go with your gut, and however something's going to turn out, that's how it's going to turn out. And she tells Issa, you pretty much already know what you want to do, so just go ahead and do that. This symbolizes so much growth in their friendship. They're trusting each other to make the best decision for themselves. They're not expecting the other to take their advice. They're not telling the other person what to do. They're saying things like, trust your gut, follow your heart. What do you want to do? And just supporting each other in that decision. But they don't feel the pressure to make the decision for the other person. Like Molly said, you already know what you want to do, so just do that. True maturity is knowing that no matter what decision you make, whether it ends up being a good one or a bad one, that you're equipped enough to handle it. So Molly has to get off the phone because there's a knock at the door and there's a delivery person there. And Molly's like, well, I didn't order anything, but she gives Molly a bag of wings and also some wine. And a text message pops up from Torian saying, wings and wine make everything better. For him to have that text message ready the minute the food was delivered, that means he was tracking it. The dedication, I love this for her. There is nothing like a considerate man that tries to anticipate your every need. I love the fact that he didn't show up in person with the wings and wine and tried to exploit her being vulnerable after she said all that. He was like, I'm not even going to try to capitalize on how you feel, because some low-life men will do that. I like the fact that he was just like, here's a little something. I know you're probably not eating. Here's some comfort food and some wine. Just want you to know that I was thinking about you and that I hope that you feel better. That effort right there. Effort is sexy, is it not? So anyway, Nathan is bringing some pho to Issa and she's about to eat it. She's excited. She's happy. And she's like, you know what? Oh, this makes me so happy. And he's like, that's all I ever want to do. And she was like, what? And a voice says, to make you happy. Issa realizes that the voice that she hears is not Nathan's voice. It's Lawrence's voice. Lawrence doesn't appear, but she can hear his voice. And now they got the girl hearing voices and all. And that's the end of this particular episode. But that's what I want to talk about. What was the reason? Insecure in my Cardi B voice. What was the reason? Why did y'all allow us to get all of this backstory on Nathan? Tell us about his mental health struggles. Show us his family. Show us him telling her, I love you, and telling us that that was the first time he's ever said that to somebody. Why did y'all allow us to get this invested into Nathan's character? Allow us to root for Issa and Nathan just for y'all to have it set up where it looks like she's not going to end up being with him. Why y'all gonna have, like, now we actually care about Nathan. I know he's not a main character, but you showing us so much about him. We care about him. We don't want to see him hurt because you're gonna end up being with Lawrence. I just feel like this whole storyline is unnecessary, especially if Issa doesn't end up with Nathan. I just feel like Nathan's character deserves better than Issa being half in and half out of the relationship. And I feel like they've gotten you to the point where you care about his character, so we want him to have a happy ending too, but having him be dumped by Issa for her ex again is not a happy ending for him either. Anyway, that's it for this week's episode of Insecure. This is season 5, episode 8, Choices, okay? I'd love to hear you guys weigh in. Let me know what you guys think about what I just said. How do you feel about it? Do you feel that Insecure is doing Nathan's character an injustice? Do you think Issa really does love Nathan and want to move on? Do you think once she gets closure from Lawrence, that will be it? They keep showing you Lawrence and Condola getting along happily and them looking like a happy family. Are they setting us up for these two characters to find love with other people, and all they needed was one last conversation about closure? I have no idea. Is Issa gonna move? She's already hinted to it in this episode about her leaving LA to be closer to nothing but water. So let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think about Crenshaw? Should she work with him again after he blasted her on social media? And that apology was kind of stank. My bad. After all you said, no, I need to hear more than my bad. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. If you missed my last review, I'll be sure to link it on the screen and also below. And I'll see you guys next week for next week's episode. Till next time, later divas and dudes. Deuces, honey.